Lennon, what's going down, brother?
Not much, dude. How are you doing?
So good, man. Thank you so much for taking the time to share your experience over at Agency U. People are excited to hear it. I want to hear it. We're gonna give some sauce. But firstly, man, why don't you just give a quick intro, name, where you're at, agency name, what you do, all that sort of stuff, and then I'm gonna ask some questions, and we can get down to the nitty gritty.
Yeah, of course. So I'm Lennon Vaughn, and I'm the owner and founder of Pro Media Co. We're a full service listing media company in the state of Utah. We operate mostly in Salt Lake City. We serve mostly agents here, but I had the idea. I didn't see a lot of agents doing social media, so I decided, maybe this winter when it slows down, I should focus a little bit more on social media. So, I was looking around at what other agencies were doing, and I saw my friend Bronson Carmichael. He was, kind of killing it in that aspect, and I was like, what are you doing? Like, how are you doing that? Like, who's teaching you this? So, he referred me to Agency U in Austin, and I thought, why not give it a shot? Like last winter, it's slowed down a ton. All my photographers were kind of complaining and like wanting more work, and I just didn't know what to do. So I took the plunge and went for Agency U.
Love it, man. Yeah, and you've been crushing it. So before you joined, it sounds like you were doing some social media content for people. You were trying to do it yourself. Like, tell us a little bit about like that experience and like some bottlenecks that you were facing trying to figure out this whole social media thing on your own.
Yeah. So actually, before I even started building a real estate media agency, I was just trying to be a videographer. Um, didn't really think of. I mean, I was shooting listing videos. Didn't do any photography, so my shoots were consistent. And I thought, what a better consistent way to get work than to do social media for people, because then that way they would, hire me each month to um, shoot for them. And I kind of had like a very basic version of a content retainer. I didn't know that word at the time, but that's essentially what I was doing without any contract or any like, you know, any communication. I was just like, let's do content retainers. But so, it wasn't going super well. I think I was kind of stuck at, video shoots being $500 to produce four videos. I think that was my up to four videos. It was my old content retainer was $500 to produce up to four videos where I would shoot it and edit it. We'd have 4 hours to produce those videos. And, the planning wasn't there. The shoots weren't working just because, people wouldn't commit their time to me. And, it just was $500 for, I could max get maybe six clients. So, $3,000 for a full month's of work. And, pretty quickly I learned that, you know, it wasn't working like that. So I shifted focus to just listing photography and videography, and that kind of took off. And until then, I didn't even think about it until I saw other agencies doing it. And I was like, well, you know, there's got to be a way to do this. it, my way probably just wasn't very like well thought out. I probably just didn't plan it out well enough. Let's do it the right way. So, when I reached out to people and found out about Agency U, started Agency U in January, took the course, talked to Austin about what I was struggling with. He kind of, paved the way for like what I needed to do, which was what I needed to do that I missed last time was make a scalable offer and then communicate value. And the first thing I did before I kind of jumped the gun. I kind of went straight into like, let's see how many people I can say yes, because right now we operate with 500 real estate agents in Utah. So I had plenty of people, you know, that had some interest in it. So I called up some of my best clients. Austin and we put together a presentation together, practiced it together, pretty much just practiced what he told me to do, because I don't do presentations before Agency U, but I just, word for word repeated what he showed me, what he does, and, convinced right after the bat. So I started in, when did I start? I forget.
Like 4 months ago.
December,
Yeah.
early December.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Whatever.
started
Yeah.
early December.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, my plan was to, just see how it goes before, see how many people I could get before the holidays, because that's when it really slows down on my side,
Yeah.
you know, and ended up snagging 7 people, I think, just doing this presentation that Austin had me do that communicates value. And then I was in the position where, like, oh my gosh, now I have to learn really quick how to pull this off, pretty much. So, it was a really fast learning curve, but, Austin, or sorry, I'm saying Austin as if I'm not talking to you.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you
I'm right
really
here,
just,
dude.
yeah, I know.
Okay. No, you're good.
So yeah, you really just,
We
showed me how
game
to do
planned
it
it
really
along the way.
quick,
Yeah. 100%.
and, um, you know, got to a point where everyone seemed pretty satisfied, and,
Yeah.
you know, I think I picked up 3 more clients after the holidays, so I was at around 10 clients, producing around $15,000 a month. I had
Nice.
2 clients pay $10,000 up front. So like right at the
Nice.
beginning of the year, I had 20 grand
I
just,
didn't know that.
sent over to me
On the
over
slowest
Stripe.
month of your business,
Yeah, the
typically.
slowest month of my business. So that was
Yeah.
great.
Sick.
And, I even bought a house this year. So,
Nice.
it was perfect to have 20 grand just like right away.
Yeah.
And,
So
um,
so talk like when you were trying to do the like retainers yourself or for like the realtors, like what was it that you were struggling with? Was it like don't know how to package, don't know how to position myself as like valuable, don't know how to sell the high ticket, like they don't value like what were you coming across and like how long was that coming across that was preventing you from doing it again?
sorry, you cut out for a second. Could
It's
you
all
repeat
good.
that question?
Yeah. So like before you were doing retainers and like when you were offering retainers to your clients, like what were you coming across that the reason they weren't willing to do it or why you weren't doing it? Was it like you weren't positioning yourself like as an authority or like you didn't know how to package it or they would do it one time and they would dip out or you didn't have conviction on how to actually create the offer or what was it that you were
It was kind of like a
repeatedly doing?
mix of all of those. Like I didn't package it right. What I used to do was I would just call them up, say like, "Hey, let's do social media videos. Let's do five
Yeah.
videos a month." Um, no planning, like
And they'd say, how much
anything.
is it? And then you would pull out a number and then you'd
Yeah,
go shoot and it'd be a bad
just from
experience. And they'd be like,
experience, just
yeah,
yeah, from hearing like people be like, "Oh, like $700. Like I don't know if I want to spend that on
yeah,
Instagram."
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That was a pretty classic one. They're like, like I've got so many other expenses. Like, I mean, I think my limit's $500. So
Yeah.
um, that was a big thing. Like
The positioning
just
of it all.
positioning it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like,
Nice.
but and then the packaging of it was just teaching me, like learning how to actually package it was really good. Um, just because I wasn't packaging it, it was like, let's do 5 videos. It doesn't really like I don't have any idea like I don't have any limits. Like you pick 5 videos a month
Yeah.
that we do, and I'll just do whatever I can to make that happen for you. And that
Yeah.
was pretty much my offer, and it didn't work.
Yeah, for sure. Dope. Um, and how long were you trying to do that for? Like since inception, essentially?
Yeah, I got to I think I tried to do it for about a year or two.
Wow.
Yeah, I was like doing it for a year or two. Just I mean, most my I guess yeah, it was a year or two before I started like branching off into just straight listing
Yeah.
photography and videography.
Yeah. And then what we did is we came up with the offer. And I know you were like a little hesitant about like the pricing. And then we came up with the packaging, positioning, how to make it a no-brainer for these agents, and then we got it in front of select number of people, and then 7 people said yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you feel like other people, maybe like a real estate media agency or just like an agency doing video, prevents them from having success with short form content? Because like it seems like we worked together, and a month later you had 7 retainers all of a sudden.
Yeah, it's definitely communicating the value and knowing how to package it and price it and scale it up.
Yeah, for
The
sure.
systems are huge too, because like in listing media, like it's a different game where it's so simple. It's
Yeah.
no revisions, very minimal revisions, very like you're doing the same shoot every time. No planning. Like there's no planning. Like you don't call the agent up and like ask like what angles do you want.
Yeah.
Like every photo shoot's the same. So it's a completely different game, and I think that's what was holding me off because I got so used to like the rinse and repeat of like shooting the
Transactional
same,
model.
the same photo shoot every single day, same delivery. I knew what they were going to request, like if it came up. So I was
Yeah.
like, I was just way too comfortable with that. And I was like, I'm never going to do
Yeah.
anything that isn't real estate.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense. Okay. Tell the people what your favorite parts of Agency U are. Like what's been the biggest like needle mover for you as it pertains to like what Agency U offers people?
Yeah. My favorite thing about Agency U is how structured, um, like the systems, like it's so easy to take a system that Agency U has and just repeat it, learn it for yourself, and just repeat it for yourself for your clients. Systems is a thing that I personally struggle with a lot,
Mm.
and whether it's like booking calls and giving a presentation to shooting, managing those shoots, managing the every project, and then managing the delivery. Agency U like really helped out with that for me, and that was
Nice.
just something that was really keeping me back from taking the dive into
Yeah.
social media.
Like the sequence of events and then making sure that you can actually fulfill on what you're selling.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Because I mean, you
As
still have
well as
7
like
clients. Holy
still
crap.
run a real estate listing company because
Yeah.
it's like I don't really want to start another business. Like I'm not in the position, but if you have the systems, it's completely doable.
Nice. What's next for you as it pertains to like scaling up your offer and stuff like that?
Yeah. So right now I'm in the process of um, delegating the content or the strategy calls because right now I've got someone who pretty much handles everything but the strategy calls. So they go to the photo
Mm.
shoot, they set up all the gear, they record it, they direct the client, they go home, they upload it, they send out video instructions, and then they see the videos come back. Um, they set out the revisions, they communicate with the clients. I'll pop in like here and there, like if there's something that comes up that I'm like I have some input on, but for the most part, I'm pretty much out of the picture, except for those strategy calls. And
Nice.
right now, just with what I've got going on in the listing media, I'm just a little more focused on that. So haven't been wanting to take on more strategy calls because even though it's only like an hour, 2 hours a day, 9 times a month, it does kind of add up for me.
Sure.
So I think as soon as I figure out how to or delegate out the strategy calls, I think I could get 20, 30
Easy.
constant retainers pretty easy.
No doubt. That's dope, man. And then what would you say to somebody watching this who is considering Agency U, but maybe they're on the fence or they're unsure if it's legit? Are we a scam? Is this actually going to help me? That kind of
I
stuff.
mean, I could just look at the numbers. I spent, I mean, the return I got from within a month of like straight money into my bank account tripled what I spent for
Yeah.
Agency U.
Yeah.
And on top of that, like I was way less stressed and way less frustrated. And I think I saved I saved a lot of time as
Hours
well.
for sure. And then they're all retainers. So it's like 4 months times
Yeah,
whatever you
exactly.
did.
It's
So
like
it's actually like
4 months and like I don't have to
12x.
worry about. Yeah.
Yeah. Plus all the hours saved. That's dope, man. Anything specific that you'd say to them? Like, have
To
you
a
been in other programs or anything like that, like that you could compare
No,
it
it was
to?
the
No,
first program, but um,
expectations are high now.
yeah, it like I just say like if you're a listing media company, you know, it takes I'd say one real estate retainer is probably the equivalent to I had the math down at some point, but I'm honestly blanking. But like one real estate retainer is probably equivalent to like 10 or
Yeah,
maybe even more. I had it down. So if I've got 9 clients and they're making, close to $160,000 a year,
yeah,
I'd say one is close to 10
yeah.
solid real
Nice,
estate clients. Yeah.
sick. Yeah,
So, if you're trying to hit like a goal where it's, like I was at 600K last year and my goal is, a million, I think next year, maybe that's
you
a
think
pretty high goal, but um, it would take a lot less work,
listings shoots? Yeah,
a lot less clients to
yeah,
make it there with retainers.
yeah. Dope, man. Anything else that would be good to add to everybody? I think you've added some good value and provided a lot of good insight.
Um, yeah, I mean, agency is definitely the best um, course that I've seen out there for sure. That
Dope.
I would take agency for sure.
Appreciate it, brother. All right, man. Thanks for hopping on and giving some insight into your business and what you've been able to do. It's super cool to see, man. I'm excited to see what's next with Austin as well.
Yeah, of course. Thanks, Austin.